Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Kyle here from SpeedBets, bringing you guys another UFC full card breakdown. We have Jack Della Maddalena taking on Bilal Muhammad for the welterweight title, a fight that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. If you know, you know. We've been riding Bilal for a long period of time. Pause. Bilal Muhammad, he cashed out huge for us against Leon Edwards. You know, we gave you that pick on the YouTube channel. The little hype up montage I made for Bilal got copyright struck and taken down, but it is still in the pick video. And Bilal Muhammad, man, what can I say? 12 fight unbeaten streak. The guy's been an underdog in like 8 straight fights. I've been cashing on Bilal since before I was even sending out bets. He's just one of those guys for me, you know. But we got to talk about last week, the week that was. Let's go to, these were the 5 locks. Look at that, 5 for 5 again. Nobody else is doing 5 for 5, guys. Not a single person in this space is doing 5 for 5. Go look through the locks. Go on YouTube. Find all the YouTubers. Look up on screen. I'm going to throw some on screen right now. No hate. Absolutely no hate. No disrespect to any of these other YouTubers. This is just showing you that we do it better. That is 20 for 20 on the last locks. 4 cards straight of sweeping the 5 locks. Guys, people were locking up Bo Nickel. People were locking up Yo Anderson Brito. People have been making mistakes, guys. People were locking up Carlos Prates, Diego Lopez. We locked up Volkanovski. I'm not just picking the highest odds on the card, trying to weasel my way out of making real picks. I'm giving you guys the real picks, the real predictions. My money that I'm winning from the bets should be proof enough. Let's talk about that. We went up just under 2 units. We had a couple horrible beats. It should have been a lot bigger of a night for us. We had the Cameron Smotherman plus 3.5 spread. I don't know how you cannot give that third round to Cameron Smotherman. 2 of the judges got it right. 1 of the judges got it wrong. And unfortunately for the plus 3.5 bet, all you need is 1 judge to fuck it up. And that 1 judge butchered us. That was like a 1.75 unit play to win 1 unit back. Absolutely brutal beat. If I just didn't place that bet, we'd be up 4 units. And it's just it's just hard sometimes, man. If we would have gotten that bet like we should have, Cameron Smotherman clearly won the third round in my opinion, then that would have been the 1.75 units back plus 1 unit plus 2.75. We would have been up 5 units. It's tough. And then if you want to go into the underdogs here, we got Yana Santos, Cameron Smotherman. Of course, Cameron Smotherman just fought a horrible game plan. I don't know, he didn't look like himself. I think the camp change that he had really took a toll on him, changed his style a little bit. Not a good bet for me there, but Yana Santos, a beautiful bet. Misha Tate, I don't know how people were betting on her. Yana Santos got up to like plus 160 before the fight. Like I was live in attendance. I was checking the live odds. I placed another 2 units on Yana Santos. I didn't send that one out in the Discord. That's not part of the VIP because it was like literally 10 seconds before the fight. But I saw that and I had to lock it in. I cashed out huge on Yana Santos myself. But she was my favorite dog all week. I've been saying it all week long. I'm ridiculously confident in Yana Santos, and she gets it done in 0 sweat. Then we look at the DFS. Unfortunately, we just broke even. Ryan Loder and Jeremy Stevens, these bets just crushed. Absolutely crushed. Cameron Smotherman, of course, screwed me. Jillian Robertson over 2.5 takedowns. This is a bet that I had as a straight bet as well. And, you know, I was banking on Marina Rodriguez to keep it together, to stay composed, to just survive like she always does. But I guess Jillian Robertson's a different kind of beast. She only needed 2 takedowns. So we lost that bet, and then we lost the fight goes the distance bet. We got that early in the week before the value was shot. So what can you do? Daniel Marcos, that was my favorite line of the week. I was telling everyone in the Discord, this is my favorite line. He got like 15 significant strikes. I don't know why his line was ever 65. Brutal, okay? Just a brutal line. But yeah, so we cashed the left side. That's 2 units profit. Put that back into the other 2 that we lost. We break even. It is what it is. We move on. Just a couple of the wins we had. We don't look here. We had 3 big slips here. Let me move this out of the way. 3 big slips here, $50 on each slip. Usually we do $25 units on DFS, but these ones are 50, very confident. We had Figueiredo under on strikes. His line was like 75, way too high. He got like 6. Bo Nickel, we had under 1.5 takedowns. Or as Bo Nickel under a finish. I didn't think Bo Nickel was even really going to win the fight, and I knew he wasn't going to finish RDR. That was a pick'em for some reason. That was free. And then right here down at the bottom, we had Bo Nickel under on fantasy score. Again, I gave that one out as a free play in the Discord and the free play channel. Everyone hopefully cashed out on that. And then the hockey legs, those are just like discount legs or goalie save legs. Just other things that I'm liking. Always taking advantage of every single sport. And then right here we had a better discount. $10 limit on these, unfortunately, but the discount cash. And then Bo Nickel under 1.5. Mason Jones over 1.5. Figueiredo under strikes. Yeah, he got 6 strikes. And then Mason Jones, he's obviously going to wrestle Jeremy Stevens if he gets hit at least once. And look at that, 8 takedowns came through for us. And another one. First fight of the night here, we have Brad Katona taking on Beksat Almakhan. Everyone obviously remembers Beksat from his fight with Umar, where he landed a flash knockdown in the first round, and then he got absolutely and utterly destroyed. A lot of people were hyping this dude up, saying he's going to be the next biggest prospect because he just dropped Umar and nobody's done that. Like, yeah, you guys got to remember, he's still got 30-25. That fight was not even remotely competitive. That was Umar one-way traffic from bell to bell, even if he did get dropped. He got dropped, his ass hit the mat, and he instantly folded forward into a takedown and secured the takedown. Obviously, Umar's a different level of talent. Umar versus Brad Katona would also not be competitive at all. But Bekzat, he does carry a lot of power. This guy is a sick striker. He's got very good kicks, rips the body pretty well with his kicks. He has good head kicks. He has a couple finishes with the head kick, actually. And the main thing is his kicks are fast. Brad Katona, on the other hand, this guy, he's like I don't want to call him a jobber because I feel like a jobber is like an insult to fighters. But like this guy just goes out there, does what he does, and you're never going to get anything more, you're never going to get anything less. He's just a very consistent fighter. He's like that one guy that shows up to the work site. He's going to get the exact same amount of work done every single day, and he's going to go home. You don't talk to him once, nothing. He just minds his business, gets his job done. Brad Katona is going to come in. He's going to throw his little strikes, the little Muay Thai strikes. Not going to be any power. He has a good chin. He's going to eat a couple strikes. He's not going to get rocked. He's going to shoot a couple takedowns. Some of them are going to get stuffed. He's going to ride you on the cage. He's going to try another takedown. He might get a couple. But it's like Brad Katona, you don't even really have to do too much tape because you just kind of know what you're going to get. It's a very consistent fighter. He's 16-4. The guy's a good fighter. I don't know why it says he's 16-4. I believe he's 14-4 professionally, and then he has some Ultimate Fighter wins as well. He has like 1, 2, 3. He has 4 Ultimate Fighter wins, so that doesn't even add up. It should be either 18-4 or 14-4, depending on which ones they want to count. But whatever, we'll let him be. His losses are actually decent. He has a loss to Marab, a loss to Garrett Armfield and John Matsumoto, Hunter Azure, but I'm not looking into that one too much. The one that I kind of really caught my eye was the John Matsumoto fight because I'm pretty high on that guy. I think he's a really good prospect. Was undefeated until Rob Font robbed him. And Bekzat here, I think he fights in a similar manner to John Matsumoto. I think he's going to come in, they're going to engage, they're going to swing hard. And I have seen Bekzat get taken down, so I think Brad Katona can take him down. I don't think Brad Katona can hold him down. Bekzat does a good job getting back up. He was forcing Umar to even scramble a lot. I mean, in round 3, he was a little bit gassed out. That's kind of a common trend. He does carry power late, but he does have maybe a questionable gas tank. I don't know. I've seen him in some wars. In the 3rd round, he has gotten a couple finishes. Like I was watching the Jan Faraz fight. He got the finish in the 3rd, but he was definitely slowing down. It is good to see that he carries his power, but his opponent was just a little bit more gassed than him. Brad Katona isn't going to slow down. Brad Katona has gas for days. This guy will be there for the full 15. He's clocking in, he's clocking out. He's not getting out of there early one way or the other. And then, yeah, I mean, like I said, in the Umar fight, he dropped him in like the first 20 seconds. Umar still ended the first round with almost 4.5 minutes of control time. Bekzat didn't get up in the first round. If Brad Katona gets him down, I'm curious to see if he's going to be able to get back up. I think he will be able to because Brad Katona's control is nothing quite like that of Umar Nurmagomedov. I'm never going to make that comparison. So I think it's going to be a competitive fight. I think Brad Katona can at least win one round, but I am going to lean Bekzat to win this fight just based on damage. John Matsumoto was stepping in hard with some elbows. He had Brad Katona not really wobbled, but he was definitely hurt for a second. And then Brad Katona hit him with a step-in elbow, and then John Matsumoto was hurt. So I think Brad Katona can hurt Bekzat. I think legitimately he can hurt him more than Umar did. Umar didn't really inflict any damage. He just kind of controlled him. But I'm going to lean to Bekzat Almakhan here to win the fight, 29-28 on the cards. He carries a lot of power. I would not be surprised at all if he comes in here and he just floors Katona because he has that kind of power. I mean, but he throws wild. I'm curious to see if he's going to kind of tame his strikes down. I mean, he's really overextending hard on these punches. If Bekzat does come out here and knock out Brad Katona, he's 1,000% going to be a future fade when he goes against like a counter striker. The way I'm seeing this guy throw his punches, he's dying to get countered. Absolutely dying to get countered. And Brad Katona, I don't think he has the power to punish him for that. It's not Brad Katona's fault. Some people are born with power, some people aren't born with power. But yeah, give me Bekzat to win this fight, 29-28 on the cards. Maybe he knocks down Brad Katona once, but Katona's so tough, he's going to get back in there, push him to the clinch. Except we have Daniel Santos taking on Ji Young Lee. Now this right here is one of my like underdog kind of spots for the week, I think. I have a bet on Ji Young Lee. I got him at like plus 110. I just don't think Daniel Santos is that good. This guy has more professional pullouts than he does fights. I'd be very surprised to see if this guy had a kid. But he just doesn't fight, like ever. He just always pulls out. He pulled out against Daniel Marcos, Said Nurmagomedov, Davey Grand, Johnny Munoz Jr., Marcelo Rojo, Timur Valiev. Like, those are all in the UFC. He has double that in the regional scene. I don't understand what this guy's deal is. He's fighting at 145 now. He didn't even show up for the weigh-ins at his last fight against Davy Grant. We had Davy Grant as an underdog in that one. Daniel Santos literally didn't even show up to the weigh-ins. Probably knew he wasn't going to make weight. Now he's fighting at 145 instead of 135. I think he's going to be bloated. He was never a guy that had like a super shredded physique. I mean, you can even see in the photo here. Like the guy, no disrespect to the guy, but he barely even has abs. What is he going to look like at 145? Coming out of the shoot-to-box camp, you know their style. Get the absolute living shit kicked out of them and then mount a comeback, fluke sub, fluke flying knee, something like that. That's what happened against John Castaneda. He was getting the absolute shit kicked out of him, and then he found a knee. Didn't work out so well for him against Julio Arce. He just got the shit kicked out of him for 3 full rounds. I think Ji Young Lee can kick the shit out of this guy for 3 full rounds. Daniel Santos has terrible striking accuracy. It's like 30%. His striking defense is sub 50. This guy is just a punching bag that can't punch back. A low volume punching bag at that. Ji Young Lee, the only thing that does worry me right here, in his last fight when Hyder Emil brought the pressure to him, Ji Young Lee just started blocking punches with his head. Hyder Emil was swinging crazy. Ji Young Lee looked like he was just moving his head to land on Hyder Emil's punches. There's actually like no other way for me to describe that. He looked like he wanted to get hit out there. He got lit up with like 46 strikes in 1 minute. Hyder Emil won the fight, obviously, first round knockout. But I think Ji Young Lee's takedown defense will probably get tested. Daniel Santos, after getting beat up for a little bit, he's probably going to shoot a takedown or two. I think Ji Young Lee can stop that, maybe even reverse him into his own takedown, control from top, work the ground and pound. I just don't see why Daniel Santos is ever the favorite in this matchup. Give me Ji Young Lee. I'm going to go with a second round TKO. I think he's just going to wear on Santos in that first round. Santos is going to come out a little crazy in the second. And I think Ji Young Lee can clip him with something big. Next up, we have Marc-Andre Barriault taking on Bruno Silva. Now, in this spot right here, it's kind of just two guys that probably shouldn't even be fighting anymore, which is crazy because they aren't even that old necessarily. Marc-Andre, 35, I believe. Bruno Silva coming in 35 as well. It's just, these guys are 0-7 in their last 7 fights. What are we doing? Bruno Silva 0-4, Marc-Andre 0-3. Except the difference is, Bruno Silva, I can excuse his losses to a degree. The loss to Nardiev, that was a just horrible performance. He got grappled up. He had absolutely nothing for Nardiev. Chris Weidman, he got cheated in that fight. Chris Weidman was stabbing his eyes, pitchfork in the eyes. Absolutely disgusting, horrendous performance by Chris Weidman. The guy's a scumbag. Shara Magomedov, Bruno Silva just got outworked by a good striker. It is what it is. Say what you want about Shara Magomedov. He is a good striker. Then Brendan Allen choked him out in the first round. Brendan Allen in the first round is a actually dangerous fighter. If you extend it to the second, he's probably going to gas out. But for those first 5 minutes, this guy is dangerous. He got the submission. It is what it is. He knocked out Brad Tavares before that, showing some power. Brad Tavares is not an easy guy to knock out. Then you have the fight against GM3. Now this one right here is a problem for me. In that fight, he got knocked out and submitted by GM3, all in one. GM3 caught him with a big cross down the middle or a hook or something. I forget the exact strike. I watched it back the other day. Dropped him to the ground. GM3 could have 1,000% just TKO'd him right there. Just right then, right there. Easily. GM3 just jumps the fucking ghillie for no reason. Chokes him out in the third round, as GM3 does. Fight before that, he's at Alex Pereira. He took a round off Pereira, rustled him up a little bit. And it is what it is. You know, you're not gonna beat Alex Pereira in like his second or third fight in the promotion. It wasn't meant to be. But Bruno Silva is a knockout artist. He has like 23 professional wins, and 20 of them come by knockout. I think he's won like 2 decisions ever, and none of them are in the UFC. All 4 of his UFC wins are by knockout. I think they're all in the first round. Let me double check that actually. Just kidding. Andrew Sanchez was in the third round. All other 3 of his wins in the first round. Marc-Andre, he's been knocked out in the first round 2 fights in a row. All I'm saying right here, Marc-Andre is probably the better fighter, the more technical fighter. I don't think either of these guys are shooting a takedown. Bruno Silva's only landed takedowns in 2 fights in the UFC, against Shara and against Alex Pereira. I don't think he's going to need to shoot on Marc-Andre here. I think he's going to trust his power. He's going to trust his hands. I think Bruno Silva can knock out Marc-Andre. If not, Marc-Andre, maybe he's going to work in the grappling a little bit. He's not a guy that shoots takedowns, though. Maybe he's going to get some cage control going. Little in and out striking. He was getting kind of grappled up by Dustin Stoltzfus a little bit. And then he got knocked out. Getting knocked out by Dustin Stoltzfus is actually crazy. The guy has like one knockout in the UFC, and that is Marc-Andre. He's like a 3-5 fighter. Not a quality fighter in my opinion. Getting knocked out by him is a horrible look. I don't trust Bruno Silva's skill set per se, but a bet I do like for this fight is Bruno Silva decision, no action. If Bruno Silva gets that finish, we get paid. If Marc-Andre grinds him out to a decision, we get a full refund. I threw a unit on that. It's minus 105. I think that's a good wager for this fight. But the official pick, you know what? Fuck it. Give me Bruno Silva by knockout in the first round. I think this guy's got the pop. He's got the power to make it happen. Next up, we have Navajo Sterling taking on Ivan Arslan. Now, this one's a little tricky. I see a lot of people backing up Navajo Sterling as this insane prospect. This guy just got back from Turkey. He got a hair transplant. They got to update his picture. This shit looks a little cooked. But Ivan Arslan is actually a decent fighter. See, a lot of people just talking shit saying he looked horrible against Cutelaba. He might not have looked the best. He certainly shouldn't have gotten a split decision, but he did win that third round. He showed heart. He showed grit. He comes from KSW where people are literally trying to kill you to rip you to shreds. KSW is just full of juicers. In my opinion, if you fight in KSW, you're on the sauce. That's just how it is. Navajo Sterling is like medium, low output type striker, kickboxer, super kind of timid style. Against Tuco Tokos, he just kind of shit the bed. He won the fight 30-27, but he left nobody impressed, not one single person. On the Contender Series, this guy almost seemed confused, like he was trying to get his own takedowns at some point when he's like supposed to be a very high-level kickboxing champion. Against Philip Latou? You're shooting takedowns on Philip Latou? Whatever, man. Ivan Arslan, this guy is going to come forward. He looks on paper like a first-rounder bust fighter, but like I just said, he won that third round against Cutelaba, which is weird. This guy has like 14 professional wins. 10 of them are first-round knockouts. You think he's a first-rounder bust, but he just simply isn't. This guy is good. He is well-rounded. He can be there for 15 full minutes. If Navajo doesn't pick up the pace a little bit and try to put this guy out in the first round, which he's only been knocked out one time ever, by the way, Cutelaba tends to swing wild. I know he brought the rustling in that fight. Cutelaba still hits hard. I'm going to go Navajo Sterling. I'm going to go by decision. I don't think Ivan Arslan's going to be getting out of there. I don't think Navajo Sterling's going to look good again. He's going to be a little too timid. He might get like 40, 50 strikes, but I don't see him getting a knockout here. I really don't. He hasn't impressed me yet. Hopefully he can. Hopefully he knocks out Ivan Arslan in impressive fashion, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if Arslan catches this guy. I think Navajo hasn't fought anyone good yet. Philip Latou and Tuco Tokos, whatever you want to call him. It's just two bottom-of-the-barrel type fighters. Ivan Arslan's the best fighter this guy's ever fought. In MMA, that is. So, give me Navajo hesitantly by decision. You will not be catching this guy in my locks. You will not be catching this guy in my parlays. I just got to observe, see what he's going to do. Maybe I'll take his lower on fantasy score on underdog or something like that, but I don't know. I got to look into the numbers more. Give me Navajo Sterling by decision. Next up, we have Modestas Bukauskas taking on Ion Cutelaba. Now, in the last time we broke down a Bukauskas fight, I had him as one of my 5 locks going against Rafael Cachoeira. And look at that, he won. Shocker. Cachoeira, a horrible fighter from a trash promotion with no good wins, no good performances. Who knows why he was in the UFC? And we have Ion Cutelaba. No, I picked him against Ivan Arslan. I picked him against Ibo Aslan when he was a pretty decent-sized dog. Not many YouTubers were picking Ion Cutelaba in that fight. Let me tell you what. If you want to go back, run the tape. Everyone was on Ibo Aslan. Everyone lost money on Ibo Aslan. Not us. We cashed on Cutelaba as a dog. But Cutelaba's been mixing in the wrestling a lot more. He's been fighting with smarter game plans. This guy is like relatively young. He's 31. So is Bukauskas. Cutelaba has so much experience, man. Bukauskas has experience too, don't get me wrong. This is one of those fights where I can't tell you that Cutelaba's been doing MMA longer than they've been a fighter. But I mean, Cutelaba's just been in the UFC forever. This will be almost his 20th UFC walk, his 18th UFC walk if I'm not mistaken. And Bukauskas, I mean, this guy's had 2 UFC runs. He got cut after the first run because he's garbage. And then his second run, he's had some pretty soft matchmaking if I'm going to be honest. Tyson Pedro and Zach Pauga. Neither one of those fighters are in the UFC. A loss to Vitor Petrino. That guy's so ass at light heavyweight, he lost to Anthony Smith, and now he's moving to heavyweight. and then Marcin Prachnio and Rafael Capoeira. Prachnio is just like a little high volume striker with no real power, and he doubled up Bukakis' strikes. Doubled him up. He got subbed in the third because he gassed out. Bukakis is very, very hittable. This guy gets hit a lot, and he's always been low volume. I've seen some people saying this guy fixed his low volume issue. No, he's just had some soft matchmaking in his last 2 fights. He's not this high volume guy. That's not who he is. He's a low volume guy who can get outstruck, who will get outstruck. He doesn't have the most power. He knocked out Capoeira because Capoeira is garbage. Look at who else is he knocking out, man. You want to look back to Andreas Michailidis, the guy who's infamous for getting flying kneed by Alex Pereira. He's a 170-pound fighter who fought Bukakis at 205 pounds. He was fat. He was flubbed up to the max, and he retired on the stool after the first round. Then, I mean, we're more Cage Warrior. That's his only UFC knockout. Sorry, besides Rafael Capoeira, but we're not even counting that one. And you got to go back to the Cage Warriors when he's knocking out guys that are like 11-6, 10-14. Like, what are we doing? He knocked out Chuck Campbell, I guess. Chuck Campbell, what's he up to? Yeah, let me remind you about Chuck Campbell, the guy they got knocked out. Yes, I did say knocked out by Ozzy Diaz. The guy that got knocked out by Ozzy Diaz. Yep. Okay, Bukakis is going to knock him out, sure. I'm picking Cutelaba. I think Cutelaba's wrestling is going to keep Bukakis at bay. I think even if he wants to be high volume, which he doesn't, because he never has been, he never will be, Cutelaba's wrestling pace can slow that. I'm tired of these Cutelaba chin narratives. It's just simply not true. This guy has been knocked out twice. The first Magomed fight, he was not out. He was playing possum, whatever. Horrible stoppage. We all know that. I'm not going to get too deep into that. Now, he has been subbed. Bukakis, he's coming off a submission. Watch out, Bukakis coming off a submission. Cutelaba is not getting submitted by Modestus Bukakis. That's not going to happen. I'm taking Cutelaba. I'm taking him by a decision. I think Cutelaba might even be live for a strangle, too. I'm not going to lie to you. Bukakis, when he's on the ground, he's not the most active fighter. He's not really trying to get back up too much. He can get taken down. His takedown defense is okay, 70%. But, I mean, the guys that have wanted to take him down have got him down. Cutelaba, this guy averages 4 takedowns a fight. His takedown accuracy is only 50%, so you know he's shooting upwards of 8 to 10 takedowns a fight, which is insane, by the way. He has a good gas tank. He gassed out a little bit against Ivan Arslan. I mean, he got like 10 of his takedowns stuffed. What are you going to... Of course, you're going to gas a little bit. But give me Cutelaba to win this fight. I'm going by decision. Hoping to get some good odds on him, but right now he's leaning more towards the favorite, which I'm not liking, so... But yeah, give me Cutelaba by a decision with the possibility of a strangle. We have Jessica Andrade taking on Jasmine Jasudavicius. Jessica Andrade is a girl who's been in the UFC for longer than I've been alive, probably. She's got like 20-something UFC fights, probably 30-something to be completely honest here. Double-digit UFC losses. Not just double-digit losses, double-digit UFC losses. And she's been finished twice as much as she's been decisioned. Let's just put it that way. She's not like losing split decisions. She's getting finished. She's lost 3 decisions in the UFC. She's been subbed and knocked out 4 times. Just a journeywoman. All there is to it. She's literally tiny, 5'1", swings wild hooks. Why she's at flyweight instead of strawweight, I don't know. But Jasmine, I think it's just her time to shine. Jasmine is the older fighter here, which is crazy. You look at her record, 13-3, she looks like an up-and-coming prospect, and she kind of is. But she's older. She's like 2 years older, 3 years older than Andrade. But Andrade, if you're talking fight years, this girl's got some miles. Jasmine's going to come forward with her little kind of inside boxing. It's not really going to be too effective, but it is serviceable. She does what she needs on the feet to get the takedown. Now, it was a little scary. Like the Fatima Klein fight, she started getting whooped up on the feet a little bit by a girl who I don't really respect that much on the feet. But Jasmine did find the takedown, some blast doubles, got her down, took her to the cage, pulled her to the ground. She did what she had to do. And look at that, she won the fight. By the way, we picked Jasmine in that fight as an underdog. For some reason, Fatima Klein should have never been a favorite. Whatever. All right, then Jessica Andrade. I mean, we've just been fading the shit out of her. I don't think that she beat Marina Rodriguez. I made that very clear when I broke down Marina Rodriguez last week. And the Mackenzie Dern fight, that was a good one. She knocked the shit out of Mackenzie Dern. I love to see that. But then finished up 3 fights in a row by Blanchfield, Yan, and Suarez. I want to call Jasmine by a finish here. I mean, her 2 UFC finishes, she has 2 third-round Darce chokes, which is a little weird. Clearly got a good Darce. I've probably a favorite submission of hers. But they're against fighters that maybe don't have the best submission defense. I guess I can't really say that. I mean, I think Ariane Lipski has only been finished once by sub, maybe twice. She's usually a girl that gets like TKO'd on the ground more often than not. But yeah, but I think Jessica Andrade is probably just going to get beat up on the ground. I mean, you saw what happened against Valentina. Valentina obviously way better than Jasmine, but elbows from crucifix, you're just going to get beat up on the ground, put in crucifix. That's a tough look. Jasmine's going to be way bigger. Her reach, she's going to have like a 6-7 inch reach advantage. She's going to be touching Jessica Andrade before Jessica Andrade even knows what's happening. Take her to the cage. When she's going to hike up those underhooks on the cage, Andrade's going to be on her tippy toes, and it's going to make the trips all that much easier. Give me Jasmine. Oh, man. I want to call a finish so badly, but I don't know if I can see it. I think against Andrade, you almost have to call a finish, but I'm actually going to go decision. I'm going Jasmine by decision. Next fight up, we have Mike Malott taking on Charles Radke. It's not because he lost to Neil Magny. A lot of people seem to hate this dude because he lost to Magny, killed their parlays. That's not it at all. I just think this dude's overhyped for nothing. Who has he beat? His best win? Trevin Giles? Johan Linnes? Like, is that what we're... I mean, I'm looking. I'm just not seeing it, you know? I mean, Johan Linnes is the dude who came in the UFC, went 1-3, got finished in all 3 fights. Is that really what we're doing? That's what we're hyping up? We jumped this guy to the rankings after beating Adam Fugit? I don't know why Mike Malott's the big favorite here. I don't really see where he wins this fight. Is he going to take down Charles Radke and submit him in the first round? We've seen Mike Malott gas out against Magny trying to chase a finish. Can the same thing happen here? Charles Radke is a tough dude. It's going to take a lot to put this guy away. I mean, he's a power puncher. Let's just put it how it is. This good dude's a power puncher. Knocked out Semmelsberger. That's a decent win. Knocked out Urbina. That's not that good of a win. Blood Diamond. That's a pretty trash win. And then Raheem Forrest. Nah. He doesn't have any great wins either. That's the thing about this fight. Charles Radke, in the grand scheme of things, is relatively unproven, but I've been way more impressed watching his fights than I have watching Mike Malott. This guy's the grappling coach over at Team Alpha Male, I believe. He does have good grappling. Mike Malott, phenomenal grappler. Charles Radke, he's in the gym with some good MMA grapplers. He's not like RDR where he's going in there again, like grappling matches against high-level jiu-jitsu practitioners, sharpening his game that way. Charles Radke's training is Valley Flow with Bilal Muhammad, Yair, GM3. Like, Bilal and GM3, in my opinion, are 2 phenomenal MMA grapplers. And you can say what you want. GM3's got a fuck ton of losses. Yeah, Bilal, he can only wrestle. That is true. But he's sharing a championship camp with Bilal Muhammad. You don't think Bilal Muhammad's been working on his takedowns? He's the same weight class as Charles Radke. They're cut into the same weight. You think Bilal Muhammad hasn't been drilling his takedowns on Radke? You think Radke hasn't been working on his takedown defense? You think this guy's not getting in rounds with GM3 on the ground, GM3 trying to do everything in his power to submit him, trying to head and arm choke him, trying to guillotine? These are Mike Malott's staples. Mike Malott has a trash takedown defense because he accepts the takedowns because he chases guillotines. He tends to get them, so I'm not going to fault him for that. Good on him. But I don't think Charles Radke's shooting a takedown. I think Charles Radke's going to walk forward. Mike Malott's going to be doing what he did against Trevin Giles, where he's fighting super reserved, trying not to gas out, trying not to get finished. And I think Radke's going to push him to the cage and hit him with that big left hook. This dude swings wild. We saw it against Gilbert Urbina. Big left hook against Semmelsberger. It was just everything in literally under a minute. Charles Radke's talking shit about Mike Malott. Apparently Mike Malott was booing the American national anthem. The Canadian crowd was booing the national anthem. Radke said he's going to make Mike Malott pay. Radke's one of those dudes where I kind of believe him. Give me Charles Radke by knockout. I'm going to go like second round. I think I like this spot for Charles Radke. I got a bet on him. Decision, no action. If Malott can get like takedowns and just kind of lay on him, I don't think he can submit Charles Radke. The dude seems a little too tough for that. But it's like plus 250. Throw a whole unit on that. I think Charles Radke can knock out Mike Malott. If he knocks him out, I get paid for that. The only way I lose that bet is if Mike Malott like takes him down and submits him. I don't see that happening. And then I also have a bet on Radke plus 3.5. a little bonus if he gets the knockout, and then it's coverage in case Malott takes him to a decision where he loses a round. I get paid out, that's plus 100. But yeah, the official pick, give me Charles Radke by a round 2 knockout. I'm not going to go into this fight too much. There's not much that needs to be said. Kyle Propellic, he's a boxer. His boxing is actually horrendous. I tried watching tape on this guy. I actually started laughing. He's not a real fighter. This guy fights once every year since getting cut from the UFC after losing to Austin Hubbard. Austin Hubbard, yeah, you heard that right. He gets like 3 wins, I believe. 3-1 he goes after leaving across a span of like 4 or 5 years. And now he's coming back off another year layoff, coming to fight Benoit Saint Denis. Benoit round 1 knockout, submission, whatever you want to do. Like, just play Benoit in the first round. Fight doesn't start round 2, under half a round. There's no like. The only wrong way you can play this is by trying to be some fake hardcore who's Benoit Saint Denis is overrated because he lost to Dustin Poirier. Don't overthink it. He was out grappling Poirier. The antibiotics or whatever you want to call it from the staph infection took a toll on his gas tank. He gassed out. He got caught. You know, Dustin Poirier tends to do that to people. If you're trying to fake hardcore your way into a Kyle Propellic wager, I think you're delusional. It's Benoit round 1, whatever the fuck he wants to do. This is clearly a spot to get Benoit back on the right track, get him a win, get him some momentum going into his next fight. Probably going to give him another can after this. I don't know why he was fighting Joel Alvarez, but BSD is legitimately a good fighter. I don't care what anyone says. He's not very experienced, but he is a good fighter, and he's going to finish this fight in the first round by a rear naked strangle. All right, then we have Alexa Grasso taking on Natalia Silva. You might notice a cut. We got an outfit change. We got a hat on. I was going through editing the video and my recording froze when I got to this fight. Everything up until this point was decent. When we got to this fight, for some reason it just froze and then it was making a static and it's just ass, and I've tested it right now. This seems to be working, so we're back. All right, I'm just going to have to repeat what I said. It'll be a little bit quicker than the original breakdown. I'm sorry about that, but Alexa Grasso and Natalia Silva, basically, I've been high on Natalia Silva for a long time. You guys have been with the channel for a while. You know I picked Natalia Silva every single fight she's had in the UFC. Obviously, the ones that I've been making videos for, I haven't been making videos for her entire career. But I've been backing her for her entire career. I thought she was like a special kind of talent. I've been saying for a while the fight that I want to see at some point in time is Dakota Ditcheva versus Natalia Silva. I think that is an amazing fight. 2 of the best fighters in the world, 2 of the best strikers. We're not going to see people shooting desperation takedowns, getting kneed in the clinch by Dakota. We're going to see 2 strikers doing whatever they want out there, and I think that'd be awesome. I'm not trying to be some like, I don't want to see grappling, but I just think for this fight, I think that's an awesome fight to make. This fight right here also probably won't hit the ground. I think Alexa Grasso might be trying to shoot takedowns. I don't know how much success she's going to have doing that. Natalia Silva's pretty defensively sound. She's running. She's pretty much circling the cage for the full 15, and she's just beating you up on the counter. She's got insane takedown defense. If she gets you to the cage, she's going to rip the underhooks, turn you around, then back off, disengage. She's not going to stay in the clinch too long. She doesn't make those kind of amateur mistakes that get a lot of girls taken down if they're a good striker, or a lot of guys for that matter too. A lot of people stay in the clinch way too long. Natalia Silva doesn't play there. She gets the underhooks, pushes you away, and then she's out of there. She's out of the pocket, back to her kicking range. She got good spinning kicks, good high kicks, everything's there. I think Grasso's going to get clipped once with a high kick of some kind, whether it's a front kick, a lead roundhouse, a spinning head kick, just something crazy. It's going to happen. I'm not saying Alexa Grasso's going to get knocked out. Natalia Silva's not a finisher by any means. But there were some times in that Viviani fight where I was a little worried. I was like, oh shit, okay. But I just think Alexa Grasso isn't the highest level fighter. She had a very, very good performance against Valentina. Took the back, choked her out when Valentina tried some spinning shit in the pocket. Could a fluke like that happen? Of course, a fluke can happen anytime. Alexa Grasso could walk out there and chin Natalia Silva with one punch. Anything can happen. Is that going to happen? No, it's absolutely not. But anything's possible. It's MMA, remember that. I'm picking Natalia Silva by unanimous decision, probably 30-27. I just think that she's too fast, too quick. These girls have the same size. It's not like when Natalia Silva is going to be fighting a Manon Farrow, where she's going to be way smaller with a lower reach, all that stuff. Pretty even fight. Alexa Grasso's pretty short. Valentina and Manon, they're fighting later. We're going to get to them. But for this spot, I think you have to go Natalia Silva. Everything I've seen is pointing to her being kind of the future of this division if she can get past those giants. So, sorry, Alexa Grasso. I was hyped on you for a little bit, but we got to go off. Natalia Silva's where it's at. Alexa Grasso does have a lot of fun fights in the division. I'd like to see her take on maybe a Blanchfield, the loser of the Blanchfield-Barber fight. Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber would be a pretty good fight. I think Blanchfield would probably take Grasso down and choke her out, but regardless, give me Natalia Silva by decision. Now this one right here, Jose Aldo, Amian Zahabi. Jose Aldo's now losing this fight. Let me tell you what. Amian Zahabi is not that guy. And I have been on Amian Zahabi. I'm not some Amian Zahabi hater. I'm not some non-believer. I'm not some guy who doesn't know. I believed in Amian Zahabi. Let me throw the receipts on screen. You guys think I'm playing around. I don't have my official bet slip because I wasn't betting online at this point. I was betting at the casino, like my local casino. I go there every weekend, place my bets for the UFC before I figured out about Bet Online, Bovada, BetUS, all that stuff. So I don't have my official slip. But believe me, I gain absolutely nothing right now by lying to you guys. I bet on Amian Zahabi to beat Farid Basharat. Or Jabba, whatever fucking Basharat this guy be. I think it's Farid. I bet on that. And I have receipts to prove that I was saying he was going to beat him. I was picking him by knockout. The money line was so good I couldn't even pass it up. And for all of you who think, oh, whatever, this guy's just making shit up, he edited those screenshots, here's some ball knowledge for you. This is before I started making YouTube videos. There was a guy I used to watch on YouTube that I liked a lot. His name was High Kick Fight Picks. And in this guy's breakdown for the Zahabi Basharat fight, he was talking about Zahabi's skill set and his strengths and everything. And he said he's a fan of Zahabi. And I was like, that's cool. I like this guy. High Kick Fight Picks. I respect that dude. It's sad to see he stopped making videos. I think he said his life was getting complicated or whatever, but I'm getting sidetracked here. Amian Zahabi is a guy that I kind of watched that. And I was like, oh shit, this guy's got some pop. I can see how he could clip a Basharat. Ricky Simone showed us how to clip a Basharat. That's what I thought Zahabi was going to do to him. But Zahabi fought a very, very close fight. Basharat was just throwing the fight away, shooting those sloppy takedowns in the third. A lot of people thought he won that fight. I don't think it was a robbery. I think it was the right decision. Basharat just sold. And every time Zahabi lands a punch, every single time, you have Fares in the corner. Hey! Hey! Every single time this guy lands, the entire corner is screaming in the apex. They're swaying the judge. Whether you want to believe it or not, they're swaying the judges by screaming like that. If the judge is even caught slipping for a second, they're not paying attention, and you hear the Zahabi corner going wild when this guy lands a straight punch that barely touches the nose of his opponent, you're going to take that more into account than the Basharat corner. When these guys are pillow punchers, they're going to land a clean 1-2. It's not going to look like a lot, but it did more damage than the Zahabi straight. Now, we're in a big arena, Montreal, Canada. Zahabi's not going to be able to get that effect. This guy has GSP in his corner. I don't give a fuck who's in your corner. Having GSP in your corner does not make you a better fighter than anyone else. You guys remember when Guram Kutateladze, or Guram Kutaladze, however you want to say his last name, however you want to say that. I remember when he had Ilya Topuria, Hamzat Chimaev, and Alexandre Topuria in his corner, and he got 30-27 by Kaue Fernandez, who lost to Mark Diakese. You guys remember that? Oh yeah, that's right. Having 3 superstars in your corner doesn't mean shit. I understand this guy has trained with GSP. I get that. GSP's old now. GSP has knowledge. The Zahabi team has an insane amount of knowledge. Faraz Zahabi is one of the best minds in MMA. That gym, that TriStar gym. Very high-level game plans. They know what they need to do. I have reason to believe Zahabi is not going to fight his normal game plan. His normal game plan is to run. Get on that bike. Yusuf Zalal, round 3 versus Calvin Kattar. Amian Zahabi is a track star, running backwards. The second you overextend yourself one bit, Pedro Munoz throws that straight a little bit too much. He's coming in with the, yeah. That's how he fights. He does that 15 minutes. If he gets a knockout on the good counter, he gets a knockout. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He's doing that for 15 minutes. A smart, reserved game plan. His striking numbers are actually pretty good. The issue with his style is that he pretty much on the counter, he takes one to give one. He's not slipping the punch. He's eating the jab to try and land his own straight. So he's going 1 for 1. I think his striking numbers, like the absorbed versus received, they're identical because this guy just goes 1 for 1 with every single fighter. That's why if you look on Prize Picks or Underdog, any of those apps, Jose Aldo and Zahabi's numbers, they're going to be exactly equal. They don't know who's going to land more strikes. They might end on the same amount of strikes. But I think Aldo, he looked fast against Batista. On the feet, his boxing was crisp. You can tell this guy, when he left MMA, he went to go do boxing, you could tell he actually improved. I wish he'd throw more of his leg kicks like he used to, but he showed he can still shut down a prospect like Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan Martinez is ripping everyone's legs apart. Aldo just starts checking a few, throwing a couple of his own. Look at that, Martinez ain't shit. Jose Aldo, however old this dude is, there's that speculation about his birthday. Gilbert Burns is saying that one year Jose Aldo was younger than him, the next year he was older than him. You just never really know. But I think, regardless of the age, he is one of the best fighter minds, high fight IQ fighters that we've seen. He knows what to do. He makes one mistake, and he makes it often, and that's the concern. He gets stuck on the cage just trying not to get taken down. He's more concerned about not getting taken down than he is about mounting offense sometimes. And that's the one thing that is the hole in Aldo's game. The one thing. And that's the reason why he's not a minus 400 favorite. Because if Zahabi comes in, high fight IQ, his gym is insanely smart, they know what they need to do. If Zahabi comes in and he tries to cage clinch Aldo, he might just have success doing that. And that's why I said I have reason to believe he's going to try. There's no way Firas Zahabi is not looking at that and seeing everything that we see. Aldo hasn't changed that part of his game in a long time. Volk showed us how many years ago? Probably 6-7 years ago. Volk showed us how to beat Aldo. Everyone that's beat Aldo since then is just replicating that game plan. Whether it's Merab, Mario Bautista, Volkanovski himself, the game plan's out. You know how to beat Aldo. You can do it. But that's not who Zahabi is. I don't have reason to believe that he can do that for 15 full minutes. He hasn't shown that before. He's going to try to counter-strike with Aldo. Aldo's going to be way quicker. Aldo's going to land more punches, in my opinion. And I think Jose Aldo is going to go to a 29-28 split decision victory. We're going to be talking about control versus damage. And I think Jose Aldo is going to be on the right side of this one. I think Montreal is going to do him right. Give me Aldo by decision. We have Valentina taking on Manon Fiorot. I'm a big Manon Fiorot hater. Should be my girl Blanchfield. Now, in hindsight, I should have looked at that fight and realized Blanchfield is way undersized for this division. There's no reason I should have been betting on Blanchfield there. But we live, we learn. It is what it is. Valentina in the last fight showed that she can still wrestle. The girl still got grappling. And I think she's going to have to show that here against Manon Fiorot. Manon is incredibly good at keeping her distance. Now, Valentina does have the longer reach, but that doesn't really matter. Manon Fiorot's got that boxing style. She's slipping her head to the sides, which does open some things up. We'll touch on that in a second here. Some things I'm noticing. But Manon Fiorot is just very, very technically sound. Like most of the French fighters, that's a very common theme across French fighters. They don't take risks. They don't generally make too many big mistakes. You look at a guy like William Gomi, we're talking about this guy's too technical for his own good. He can't embrace the chaos against a guy like Haider Emil. We're looking at fighters like even the Basharat brothers we were just talking about. They're too technical for their own good. If they think they're up, they're just going to get a takedown and lay on you. They're not going to take any other risks. It backfired once, and then he got chinned in the next one. We promise you he's going to come back the next fight with a super, super overly technical game plan. He's not going to take a single risk. But I think Valentina can embrace the grind, can get in on the takedowns at least once or twice. Now, Manon Fiorot has historically shown very good takedown defense, but that's against people who are doing body lock type takedowns. Erin Blanchfield, for some reason, cannot wrestle normally. She has to get in on the body lock, the high body, like not diving for the legs, wrapping up around like the thighs or whatever. Erin Blanchfield, for some reason, needs to be like body lock up top, and then she takes you down that way. Pushes you to the cage, takes you down that way. That's not how you're going to take down Manon Fiorot. You have to like go for almost an ankle pick type single leg takedown. And I think Valentina can do that. This is a girl who's been wrestling, who's been grappling forever. We know her as the kickboxer. She's got that karate, Muay Thai type style. She can do all the kicks. She can do all the spinning shit. High-level kickboxer, high-level Muay Thai. But recently, she's been kind of getting outstruck. You want to crunch the numbers. You want to look at some film. I mean, even back to the Tayla Santos fight. Back years. Because in the last 3 years, the only fighter she's fought is Alexa Grasso. And we haven't learned a single thing besides that Alexa Grasso can't stop a takedown. Valentina, she was winning the striking against Grasso. In some regards, it was very competitive striking. And I don't rate Grasso that highly. Against Tayla Santos, she was getting outstruck in those first couple rounds. She embraced the grind, got the takedowns. In the championship round, she drowned her. And she got that decision. A lot of people thought Tayla Santos won that fight. I think Valentina won that fight, but barely. Just barely. This fight right here, I think we're going to know who's going to win this fight by the end of the first round. If Manon Fiorot takes Valentina's first takedown attempt and she shucks her off like Cody Brundage did Bo Nickel, I'd say live bet the house. As Bryce Mitchell would say, bet the farm. on Manon Farrow. Because if Valentina can't get that respect in the first round, I think Manon's going to coast to a decision. I think she's just going to keep her back to the cage the entire fight like she always does. When Valentina tries coming in, Manon's going to check the kick, block it with an elbow, whatever, hit her with a 1-2, and then she's going to leave. That's all she's going to do. The 1-2 hook, the 1-2-3. It's the whole fight is just going to be a 1-2-3, which is the jab, cross, hook, if you guys don't know that for some reason. But it's all it is. Manon Farrow doesn't do anything special. She's not a talented fighter. She just does the basics, and she's a little bit bigger and a little bit more physical than a lot of these girls, and it's gotten her this far. Unfortunately, I'm going to pick Manon Farrow to win by decision. I don't know that Valentina is going to be able to consistently take her down enough to the point where I believe Valentina wins this fight. Now, a way that I am going to be looking to bet Valentina is just her over on takedowns. I think if I can get 2.5 takedowns at some plus money, I think that's a bet I'm willing to take. Because I don't think that bet's going to be that much different than Valentina moneyline. And if Valentina's getting the takedown, she probably wins. So I bet on Manon Farrow, have her in a parlay. I believe I have a straight bet too. I can't remember exactly what bets I locked in. I did it a while ago. I got her at minus 110. The odds have widened a little bit, but I think her money line is playable up to like minus 120, minus 125. Anything over that, if I can get Valentina at the plus 150 mark, I'm going to be 100% transparent. If I do go back through my bets right now and I do have a bet on Manon Farrow, if I can get Valentina plus 150, I think I'm going to hedge out. This is a very, very close fight. I would love to see Valentina win this fight. I just think that the age is kind of catching up to her. Not that Manon's some spring chick, and this chick's old too. I mean, look at her. But I just think Valentina's got fight miles. Manon Farrow, her style is just, it's not impressive, but she always does enough to win. There's a reason she's on this winning streak. There's a reason she only has one professional loss. And yeah, unfortunately, we're going to go with Manon Farrow by decision. Now we have the fight that everyone's been waiting for, Belal Muhammad taking on Jack Della Maddalena. Now, if you guys are in the Discord, if you see the bets, I think I sent this out on the free play channel at the start of the year. I do have a decent-sized wager on Jack Della to be the champion at the end of the year. I do. That's a bet I placed. That's a bet I believed in. Here's my thinking behind that bet. I thought Belal was going to go to war with Shavkat. This was after the first Belal-Shavkat fight got canceled. I thought Shavkat was going to heal up, Belal was going to heal up. They were going to go to a 5-round grueling type of war, and I thought Belal was going to win because I think he's a better fighter than Shavkat. Now, Dana White was not going to be happy about this. If Belal strips the O of Shavkat in boring fashion, likely a wrestling-heavy decision, he's going to make Belal turn around quick. He's going to do him like he did Aljo against O'Malley. 2-month turnaround, international fight week. If you fought in fucking April, you're coming back in June, buddy. No championship camp for you. And I thought that Jack Della was going to be able to find the chin on a weathered Belal. Just Belal wouldn't be ready for it. He wouldn't be ready for the pressure. Even better for me, my thinking, if they fought later in the year. And now I think Shavkat is a tough matchup for a guy like Jack Della. That's why I needed Belal to beat down on Shavkat, which takes Shavkat out of the title picture. Who are the other contenders? You have Buckley, you have Ian Gary, you have Usman. I thought about my options. I'd pick Jack Della to beat every single one of those fighters. A lot of people, there's going to be a lot of hate, a lot of people saying, you don't know about Buckley. No, I do know about Buckley. In my opinion, to beat Buckley, you just knock him out. That's how Buckley's taking his L's. Yeah, it's at 185, but he's fighting unks right now. I mean, Wonder Boy, Colby, and Usman, really? This dude's fighting like the 2022 top 5 in 2025. It is impressive what he's doing, absolutely. Finishing them all is very impressive. But I think he still has holes in his striking. Those guys are not going to be able to exploit him. Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman are not going to be able to exploit this guy's striking defense. They're just going to get knocked out on a speed and power differential. I think JDM's quicker. I think he'd chin Buckley pretty early on, to be honest. But against Belal Muhammad, Belal has got a good chin. Luque caught him once. Jeff Neal caught him once. Luque's the only one to finish him. But I think it's Belal's time, man. This guy, let's be 100% honest, this dude looks like he's on EPO. He's not slowing down. He's shooting for the whole fight. Jack Della objectively doesn't have great takedown defense. You can say what you want. You can, he broke his arm against Gilbert. He was jumping guillotine against Basil. Okay. In my opinion, from the film I watched, objectively speaking, I don't rate Jack Della's takedown defense to be that great. Where he shines, where Jack Della is absolutely and utterly one of the best in the division, is his ability to cause chaos on the ground. His ability to not give a shit, to stay safe, to get back to his feet. You see this guy, I even forget the dude's name that he was fighting, that one Russian dude early in his UFC career, his second fight maybe. This guy's got him in a tight-ass anaconda choke. No, I dabble in the jiu-jitsu. The anaconda, the darce, that's my shit. I love the front chokes. When I'm watching that choke, I'm like, holy shit, this guy is insane. How Jack Della didn't tap or didn't go out to that and how he defended and got back up is insane. And I rate his ability to survive against Gilbert, to keep getting back up. He had a broken arm and a staph infection, and he's able to cage walk, reverse Gilbert Burns, and then come in with a knee because he knows Gilbert's going to shoot again. Belal Muhammad, I don't think gives a shit. I see a lot of people talking about the fact that Jack Della is not going to back up like Leon Edwards. You know what the issue with that is? Belal's going to back him up. Belal doesn't walk backwards. Belal just trots forward, minds his business. Belal does what the fuck he does. The disrespect on Belal's name is insane. I'm not some new age, fake, wannabe Belal fan. I've picked Belal as an underdog in just about every single one of his fights since I've started watching fights. 100%. Belal's been an underdog in every single fight that I've ever watched live. And I've picked him in every single fight, including Leon Edwards, that's on the channel, including against Gilbert Burns, including against Sean Brady. Underdog in every single fight, and he keeps on fucking winning. Belal Muhammad is a talent. A lot of people are saying he doesn't have any natural talent. His heart is his talent. You're right, he's not ripping 5-shot boxing combinations, touching the body and the head like Jack Della Maddalena is. He's not throwing these insane high kicks like Leon Edwards is. Regardless of the fact that Leon carries no power, he does have very nice kicks. His body kicks are really, really good. Belal even said in training camp for Leon Edwards, he probably took 1,000 body kicks just in preparation for that. He's not one of these guys that has that. Sean Brady. Belal Muhammad in no world is going to catch up to Sean Brady in pure jiu-jitsu grappling. But what he can do is work harder than every single opponent he's fought. And I promise, regardless of all the Craig Jones videos you see on Instagram of Jack Della in the gym, the shit where Jack Della is pretending to choke Craig Jones unconscious, I promise Belal's working harder. Belal has Ignacio Bahamondes right there with him. Bahamondes, in my opinion, is one of the best, most underrated strikers in the UFC. I think Bahamondes is a future title contender. I don't know how the whole Ilya versus Islam situation is going to play out. I can't say I'd pick him to beat either of those fighters right now, but I think he challenges for the belt one day. And Belal Muhammad, he even said in the Leon Edwards buildup, there's not one strike Leon can throw at me that I'm not ready for. He's training with Ignacio, about the same. Ignacio's taller than JDM, if I'm not mistaken. JDM isn't even that tall. Yeah, Belal and JDM are registered at the same height. I think Belal's height might be a little overstated. Jack Della's might be a little understated, but regardless, they have about the same reach, the same height. Jack Della's not going to tower over Belal. And I just think Jack Della is going to tire himself out. His takedown get-up ability is phenomenal. Like I've said, I can't say that enough. His ability to get back up is very, very underrated. But when you're relying on your get-up game that much, I promise you, cardio for cardio, it's easier for Belal Muhammad to take down JDM again on a mat return than it is for JDM to scramble back to his feet. And I know Craig Jones just released his little, was that Fanatics BJJ, his Just Get Up series. I know. Craig Jones has been studying this stuff. He's been teaching Jack Della everything he knows. And I have a lot of respect for Craig Jones. I watch a bunch of his shit. I learn from Craig Jones all the time. I just don't know that I have seen Jack Della Maddalena have that kind of cardio. If you're fighting Belal, you have to be able to get back up over and over. And I don't doubt that JDM can do that. Absolutely. I know JDM can get back up to his feet from Belal's takedowns. I know. But can he do it for 5 rounds? That's where it becomes a question. I don't think he can. If he proves me wrong, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. He's just going to have to get through Shavkat and I cash my huge end-of-the-year title, whatever. And if he chins Belal in impressive fashion, he'll probably be the fucking favorite over Shavkat, so I get a free hedge out. So theoretically, I should be cheering for JDM this week, and I should be betting everything on JDM. I should really be wanting Jack Della to win. I just don't know that I can see it happening. And I'm going to have to rip that ticket up, but that's okay by me. I've been a Bilal guy. I've known about Bilal. Now I'm picking Bilal Muhammad by unanimous decision, 46-49. I don't know why I said the score backwards, but Bilal's going to get it done. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like. Let me know your locks in the comments. I'll be coming at you guys with the official best bets video. Sorry this one's so late in the week. Been super busy with school and shit. Finishing up, got final week next week. Then the videos are going to be coming a lot more regularly. And yeah, super pumped to be bringing you guys a lot of content. I am going to be doing something on the Discord, some big stuff going down. It's going to involve a lot of free plays. The VIP is going to go free for a while. Make sure you join the Discord. You get all my MMA bets, all my NHL bets, all the NBA bets, everything like that, MLB. We're doing it all in the Discord. It's going to be free for a while, probably about a month in there, trying to drive some interaction. And that's going to start after my school semester ends next week. We'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Peace out.